Okay, this tutorial is on the group 7 elements, also called the halogens. The group 7 elements are non-metals and they are almost at the very right-hand side of the periodic table, and there they all are, listed with the symbols under the number 7 for group 7. We've got fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine. All the group 7 elements have 7 electrons in their outer shell. And you can see they haven't got the same total number of electrons because as we go down the group, they get bigger. And because they get bigger, they have more electrons. But the outer shell on all of them in the group, if you count them up, has just 7 electrons. And that means they've also got similar chemical properties. They exist as diatomic molecules. So in other words, they exist as a pair. So each atom shares one pair of electrons in a covalent bond, and that gives both a full outer shell. So here we've got fluorine, F2, chlorine, Cl2, bromine, Br2, and this is how you'd write them. This is how they exist normally. Okay, and if we have a look here, this positive represents a nucleus of the atom, and this looks like it's fluorine here because it's got 9 electrons in total, and you can see that each fluorine atom is sharing one of its electrons, so that really strong covalent bond there is between them, is sharing a pair of electrons. One of the things you've got to know is the test for chlorine gas. So chlorine is the second element down in group 7. This is how it exists, Cl2. And this is the test, and you'll need to learn this. So what you do is you hold a damp blue piece of litmus paper, and it needs to be ideally blue litmus paper, over the gas. The chlorine will bleach the litmus paper white, but before it goes white, often it turns red for just a very short while, and that's because chlorine gas is acidic. So it's already damp blue, and when you put the damp blue litmus paper into the gas, what you'll see is very quickly it'll go red, and then very quickly it'll bleach it white, and you need to learn that test. Okay, so let's have a look. This is some information about the different halogens. So how do they exist normally at room temperature? Well, you can see that fluorine and chlorine are both gases. Fluorine a pale yellow gas, chlorine a pale green gas, and they're both poisonous. Bromine is a very dark reddish brown liquid, and it gives off a vapor, a gas at room temperature. Iodine is a dark crumbly solid that gives off a purple gas, a purple vapor, and astatine is a very black solid that's really radioactive. But look at the melting points here. We've got from -219 all the way up to 302. So these melting points go up, and the boiling points do. It starts off quite low at the top, and as you go down to the bottom of the halogens, we've got quite a high boiling point there. So we can see this on this one as well here. So you can see that the boiling point and the melting point of fluorine are here. These are all minus, and then bromine, we've got a minus melting point, but then our boiling point's positive. But you can see that the trend is for melting points and boiling points, they increase as you go down the group. So here's some of the properties. First of all, the melting and boiling points of the halogens increases as you go down the group. There are also state changes. So chlorine here is a very reactive poisonous green gas. So these are gases here. But as we go down the group, bromine's not a gas, it's a liquid. It's a poisonous red-brown liquid, and it gives off an orange-brown vapor at room temperature. Okay, so gas, liquid, and we get further down, iodine's a solid, and it's like a dark crystal solid. So it's a dark grey crystalline solid, and it gives off a purple gas at room temperature. And we need to, those three particular is what we need to know, but we can see that those things change as we go down the group. A halogen, any one of these, only needs to gain one electron to have a full outer shell and make it stable. So the easier it is for the halogen to attract an electron, the more reactive it will be. But as you go down the group, it gets much harder to attract the outer electron because this outer shell gets much further away from the nucleus, and it's a nucleus that's bringing that attraction in. So the closer you are to the nucleus, the easier it is. The further away from the nucleus, the much harder it is. So this up here, there's only one shell, and then there's the outer shell, so that's much easier to attract an electron. So fluorine is the most reactive. The more reactive halogens can displace the less reactive halogens off a compound, and we call that type of a reaction a displacement reaction. So here, for example, chlorine and potassium bromide. So bromine here is attached, it's in a compound with potassium. But if we look here, chlorine is above bromine. So chlorine is more reactive than bromine. So that means that when this reaction happens, chlorine, the more reactive, removes bromine from the compound with potassium. And let's look at it in the word equation here. Chlorine and potassium bromide, that becomes potassium chloride because chlorine's changed places. It's displaced bromine from potassium. So bromine is now left on its own. So that's called a displacement reaction. And that happens with all these halogens and other compounds as well, but you need to know about it with the halogens. The halogens can react with metals. So here we go. Sodium, metal, and chlorine becomes sodium chloride. The sodium chloride is known as a metal halide, and it's a salt. The halogens also react vigorously with hydrogen. They form something called hydrogen halides, and there's that word halide again. It's the beginning of the word halogens, but it's a halide. Okay, hydrogen halides are soluble and can dissolve in water to form acidic solutions. Chlorine, the halogen, and hydrogen form hydrogen chloride, halide here. But if we dissolve it in water, we end up getting hydrochloric acid. Exactly the same formula, but look at the end of the acid, we put the AQ mark. And just lastly, really, we can use halogens and halogen compounds in everyday life, even though on their own they're poisonous. So chlorine is found in hydrochloric acid, and that's in our stomach. It helps to break down food and destroy bacteria. Fluorine is one of the compounds that helps to strengthen bones, particularly the enamel on teeth. So it's usually added to toothpaste. And chemicals that contain iodine help to control body temperature. And chlorine's got more uses. So look at these other uses of chlorine. It can be used in cleaning products. It can be used to kill bacteria in water treatment. It can be used as part of the compound polymer PVC in cling film, or here PVC window frame. So even though the halogens on their own are quite poisonous, when they're combined with other things, they've got some really good uses.